freaking dope. Come on, Meg. Pop, pop, pop. Ay, ay, ay. Ha, ha, ha. Get a bag, ho. What's going on? What's going on? Mill Speaks here. Mill Speaks. Let's let it transition down. Hold on. Hey. There we go. Okay. Yes, Mills and Virgo here. I've recorded, this is my third show in like 2 days or 3 days. But I had to do a show for this show because a Black Lady Sketch Show is fantastic. For those of you who have not had the opportunity or honor to see this show that was written, created, stars in, has a totally black cast, all black women. Listen, this is revolutionary on like the TV front, right? Because we never got this type of opportunity before, even on our black male shows. Because that's where Robin Thede comes from. So let's just back up. So, a Black Lady Sketch Show is a new show. Sorry, I'm trying to get the mic right. Hold on. Let's move the pecans over here. Let's get this going. I've got the show going in the background. And there's so many notes that I made about this show. And then there's so many notes I didn't make because I forgot. Like, I started it over from episode 1 on the first season here. Okay, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's do this. Alright, so, A Black Lady Sketch Show is a new show that debuted in August 2019 on HBO. Okay. It stars 4 black women. I want to say that the age range is probably somewhere between 27 and maybe 40. I'm not 100% sure on a couple of them. Like, you can kind of tell on a couple, and then a couple you're just like, I don't know, dog. You know what I'm saying? The melanin. It's the melanin. You just can never be sure how old a black woman is. That's just real. Okay? Unless she's a child. Alright? Lady Sketch Show cast. Perfect. Alright, so I pulled it up. Let me put this phone on silent. Okay, so the 4 people that are on the cast is Robin Thede. She's the creator. She's the writer and creator. Quinta Brunson, who is hilarious. Gabrielle Dennis, who is equally hilarious. And Ashley Nicole Black. Alright, so to help you guys out who may not know, if you watch the show but you don't know the names, I'm going to help you with our superficial ass descriptions of these women. Okay, Robin Thede is the main character. She's the light-skinned broad who is hilarious. Quinta is the short one. She's the little one. She's my favorite, actually. She's hilarious on 100 different levels. And I've seen a couple of clips outside of this show right here from Quinta, and she's got that dry wit, she's got that comedy bone that a lot of comedians don't even have. So it's really dope. Gabrielle Dennis, you guys might remember Gabrielle Dennis because she has been on a few things, but I think what most people would probably remember her as is, this is Janae from The Game. This is Derwin's baby mama, right? Remember Melanie was so stupid and she thought that the baby wasn't hers, and it was just a lot of things going on with that. But Janae is her name on the show, The Game, and she's probably the most established. I won't say the most established actress because I don't know much of what the other ladies have done, quite frankly, prior to this show. But Gabrielle Dennis, I know for a fact, has done tons of serious roles. She's done some comedic roles. She's done some really good things, and you just would never think that she was this funny. She's so funny. I'm trying to see if I could find something that she was most known for. She did play on the Rosewood show with Morris Chestnut. Morris Chestnut had a show for a brief moment in time on Fox called Rosewood, and this was during the time when Empire was popping. I think maybe second season Empire, Rosewood was coming on. They even brought Taye Diggs in there toward the end of the show's demise, to kind of bring it up or something. So that was nice to see, Morris and Tay on something together. That was dope. And then this young lady was on the show too. She also was the daughter. I don't know if you guys remember from watching Luke Cage, but she was the daughter of Alfre Woodard in season 2. She was the one that actually killed Alfre. Spoiler alert! But she killed Alfie with some sort of drug that she put in her lipstick. And it was crazy. And then it was perceived that she would be the next villain in like season 3 of Luke Cage, but of course we all know of course we all know that the actual show was canceled. So it says her career started in 1990. I'm gonna stay on her for a minute, only because she's like the actor of all of these people. She was also on a couple of episodes of Insecure. Apparently she was on an episode or 2 of SWAT. Yeah. Right. She was also Whitney Houston. This is where we know her from. She was Whitney Houston in the Bobby Brown story. That's who she is. That's who we really, really, truly know her as, right? Like the most recent thing. So shout out to Gabrielle Dennis, and then Nicole. Actually, Nicole Black is the heavyset woman who has a ton of skits, and which I love because obviously this is a cast of black women, and black women are running this, so you would like to think that there wouldn't be any colorism, any issues with size, any issues with any of that stuff. But it's been fantastic to see a big girl who is on the darker end of the spectrum be the star of these skits that are hilarious. So shout out to her. And Issa Rae is the executive producer over there. So it's just full of black girl magic out here in these streets. I love it. I'm blessed, and Charlamagne's right. It's a privilege to be black, because there's so much in everything we do, because there's always this perceived thought that we're going to be held down, and sometimes it's not even perceived. Sometimes it's just real, but let's just get into it, because I love this show. This show has done so much for me. For a lot of different reasons. I'm going to go through, I purposefully have this playing because I need to be able to look over if there's something that I've missed on the note. The first thing I do want to say that I didn't put in the note was when I started it, the first sketch of the entire show is called The Fog. This sets the tone for how crazy over the top they're going to be. So think of M. Night Shyamalan's movie The Fog, right? You've got people who are, they look like Amish. They look like they're dressed like they're Amish women. And they're running through the woods, and the fog is coming, and I think it's Sherry Dennis. That's not her name. Gabrielle Dennis. She goes to Ashley Nicole Black, the heavyset lady. She goes, oh, the fog's coming, and then Ashley Nicole Black, and the type of comedy that she really sits in very well, she's like, what's the fog? You know what I mean? She's like, give me some more information before I get all, worked up, so it was just really funny. And then the end, or the culmination of the skit itself, was the fog was just I want to say her name is Yvonne. Yeah, Yvonne Orji is her name. She plays Issa Rae's best friend on the show Insecure, and it's just her scratching her skin. So the fog was basically them in her skin. Okay, and the fog was the ash. And so then it was like a commercial for like a Palmer's lotion, and it was called The Fog. And then the show comes on, and the music that you hear in the back is what they use as their theme song. It's Meg Thee Stallion. It's called Hot Girl. And as you can see in the beginning, I enjoy the shit out of this song. It's so fun. Meg Thee Stallion is fun, and I couldn't ask for a better song choice or a better artist selection for this show, specifically because Meg Thee Stallion is doing something different that a lot of female rappers just haven't done, and that's just be really, really dope, authentic, and down to earth herself, unapologetic about being herself, all of these things. So it's just so it's just all the way around. The whole deal is fantastic. The show, the music, the choices that they make, the colors, the textures, everything. So, alright, so I'm just going to roll with my favorite scenes. Now, I'm going to just say this. There's 6 episodes of the Black Lady Sketch Show. By far the best episode is episode number 3. Okay? You're going to love episode 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. But episode 3 is where you get all of the good shit. Episode 3 is probably when people were like, alright, yeah, it's kind of funny, yeah, it's real, or probably was like, oh, it's hilarious, we get to the second week, okay, pretty funny, okay, cool, and then week 3, or episode 3 is where they, like, grab your ass, and they suck you the fuck in forever, okay? So, favorite sketches, these do actually so happen to be on episode 3, these first 3 that I'm about to tell you about. First one is the 227 reboot, alright? Robin Thede comes in, and she's playing Sandra, okay? Love Sandra, love Jackie, right? She sounds exactly like Jackie / Sandra. It was listen, it's like a spitting image, honestly. She doesn't look exactly like her, but the dress, the hair, the facial expressions, the voice, the mannerisms, everything, it was all Sandra, all Jackie, all day. So shout out to Robin Thede for that, for really dedicating herself to the situation. So basically the skit goes, they're in tax issues. They have tax issues at 227. If they don't pay this money, they're gonna all have to be evicted. Blah 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 blah. Mary's trying to get the money from Lester. Lester's like, I ain't got that kind of money. He does kind of reveal he's going to leave Mary for Sandra. Now I'm leaving out a lot of funny shit that happened in between, but I'm giving you the gist of the sketch itself. Because believe me, the banter between the ladies is hilarious. And it's not even any of the people that are part of the show. I think Rose is played by Quinta. But the rest of the people of 227 are not of the cast that I just kind of went through and told you about. You've got Robin Thede and then Quinta. Those are the only 2 from the cast that are actually in this actual sketch. And so, fast forwarding all the way to the end, when Sandra and Lester go in for a kiss, okay, a series of dreams occur, and people are waking up from the dreams. So they actually have the real Lester, Mary, and Sandra in this sketch. And as they're kissing, then Lester wakes up from his dream, and he goes to talk to Mary in the bed, but it's Sandra. And then Sandra wakes up from her dream, and she's like, oh God, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and then it's Mary, and then Mary wakes up, and then she's like, damn, I need to stop drinking before I go to sleep. And then that's the end of the sketch. And it's just so funny, and I'm just like, damn, that's just crazy. So I love that. 227 was huge for me when I was growing up, and Sandra, if you think about the women that were fast and they didn't care, okay, you had a handful of them, and it wasn't a whole bunch of them. 2 of my favorites, Regine Hunter, Blanche Devereaux. Then you had Sandra, right? Sandra, wasn't it Sandra McKay? It was Sandra McKay, right? I can't remember. That's it. That's it that I can think of right now that it just was fast. You just out here slutting it up. Get it together, okay? And I just love Sandra. Sandra's, a sex pot. She was a sex pot. That's really what it was. That's what it boils down to. That's just that. I think Lila Rashawn took over the sex pot deal, around that time too, in the 90s and such. So it's just that's just what it is. That's just what it is. So okay, I'm gonna go to the next one. So again, the 227 one's hilarious. 227 is definitely the last sketch on episode 3, so you're not gonna be able to start it and see that immediately, but believe me, the shit that you see before it is gonna be hilarious, which, for instance, the gang orientation, which is also a Monster.com commercial. Listen, I don't know who came up with this shit here, but it was hilarious. And it's not even just that the idea itself was so funny, it's the execution, my nigga. Like Gabrielle Dennis was straight up in the gang. Okay, like the way she talked, I mean, they had their little slang and everything. She was hard, but it's like they were so hard and they're in this gang, but then they talking about orientation, talking about adding extra weeks to, to maternity leave and stuff like that. Like, it's, talking about real work shit, but just in a gang setting, which is 100%, it's crazy. It's crazy. Those are the, you don't really think about those two things going together, right? So it was just dope to see. I can't even give you more on that one. It's so funny. The attitudes, the unibrow from Robin Thede's character, the way they have these tattoos on their face, the rags. Issa Rae is in this one. It's just, it's too funny. Poor Quinta. Quinta gets fucking fired on her first day. I mean, and it's the hardest firing I've ever seen in my life, my guy. Like, it's so funny. So, too funny. The next one, that's another one of my favorites, that's also on episode 3, would be the Hertep wedding. So, we actually meet this woman, and I can't give you her name at all because her name is something really, really fucking militant and crazy. She's one of these Herteps that believes that everything is against you. It's created by the white man, and, it's just too funny. She's talking about her sister and how, her sister still answers to her white slave name and all of this. It's just too funny. And so obviously this speech is at a wedding reception, and it is extremely and wildly inappropriate. Okay? But she delivers one of the funniest lines and questions that I've ever heard anyone ask on television. Okay? And the question, and I'm gonna set it up for you, and I kind of feel like I should play it so that you can hear how hilarious it is. But that's too much effort right now. Alright, so, no, but, she, I'll set it up. She's talking about the wedding, all of this stuff. She's being very militant, very pro-black, very crazy, unnecessarily so. And then her mom goes, now is not the time, Haley. It's not the time. Now is not the time. And she hits her on the mic, hits everybody with the question, well, how many Caucasian seconds must I wait before I tell the truth? And my thing is first of all, bitch, get your life together. And it's so funny. Everybody groans at that point, like, oh my god, and that's definitely the highlight and the climax of the show, or of the sketch. And then her dad cuts her off and threatens to cut her out of the cuts off her inheritance because they got money. You know what I mean? So it's always those people that don't have a struggle that want to talk hard about the struggle, like the hardest about the struggle. Like, hey, God, come on, you don't even know what you're talking about. But anyway, but no, it was so funny. There's a guy in there. This is low-key comedy that's happening. There's a guy in there who's, I guess, the best man. He's giving a speech and he's talking about how, this should have been him because, he saw her first. And then, I can't remember this girl's name. She played the sister on Smart Guy. She's fantastic. I mean, she's part of the culture, okay? She's always annoying, right? But, so the sister from Smart Guy goes, you didn't have a chance with me. I said, oh my god, bitch, please. So it's like low-key stuff like that is also happening in the dialogue in between the militant sister being crazy. It's just so much good comedy going on. So shout out to that sketch. That's probably my favorite sketch of the entire shit. Next to the Black Lady Courtroom, which is the next one. So Black Lady Courtroom. So let me just explain to you people who are listening that are not black. We, as black people, I'm going to speak for us. I'm going to speak for the black women specifically. When we get into a space, and we find other black people there, immediately, because of the diaspora, okay, and I'm just going to take it to the next level for you. There's the black diaspora is the idea that even though we are black and we're from, say, America, or from Africa, or from Australia, you know, or we're in India, wherever we are, we all do the same shit. You see, we all feel the same shit. You see what I'm saying? It's a higher level of understanding and seeing. Okay, that's the idea. That's the idea. It is 100% true. I'll take a brief moment to tell a story about Black Panther. So Black Panther, Ryan Coogler, he's the director and writer of it. He said that he went to Africa prior to doing Black Panther. He wanted to get some more information. He wanted to do some more research, connect with his people, all of these things. And he said that he went and they do exactly some of the same shit that we do. So for instance, a gathering at a house. So a gathering at a black person's house or a black family's house. When you roll up, you typically find a bunch of people standing out inside in front of the house or around the house, on the side of the house, or something like that. And then in the house, you find in the kitchen area, you find the women of the house, and then in, say, the living room, you find the men in the house. In the back, you find the older folks in the house. In the backyard, you find, maybe the younger women who are doing something, or maybe the younger men that are out here doing, all of these things. It's like different areas where different people are. And he was saying that in Africa, we're doing the same things that they do in Africa, but over here we get arrested for what they are able to do in Africa, which is just, communicate, come together as a people. So that he was saying that the amount of the amount of men that are outside the front of the family house, that signifies how wealthy the family is. So, so here it's called loitering, right? But there, it would be showing how bountiful or how plentiful your family is, you see. So it's little things like that. The watermelon issue. I don't have this issue anymore because I'm a grown-ass woman, and I know that eating watermelon and enjoying fried chicken isn't a black thing because everybody likes that shit. But we were, raised and conditioned to believe that if you enjoy this shit outside of your black people, that's a stereotype that you don't want to feed into and da-da-da-da. No, you know what? Fuck that. Okay? I like my fucking watermelon. I love it. Alright? And I love fried chicken. Bake it, fry it, broil it. It doesn't matter what you do with it. I like chicken. It's cool. Alright? So bringing it back to the Black Lady Courtroom, okay? So, I'm sorry, I looked at the TV and there's another sketch I didn't even write down. This is the one with the makeup. So I'll come back to that, hopefully I'll remember. So the Black Lady Courtroom, first there's the, and pardon me for the terms, because I'm not one for all of the stuff. I think the lady that does the typing, I think that's a stenographer. Is that correct? Let's just make sure. Oh, bam, I was right. Okay, so the stenographer, that's the first person we see, I think, her and the security guard. So the security guard comes in there and sees the black stenographer, and she's just like, oh, okay, all right, hey girl, how you doing? Just little shit like that, right? So then, okay, cool, everything is cool, they talking, everything, cool. So then, Quinta Brunson's character comes in. She's the defense attorney, and she comes in there and she looks up, and it's like, oh, hey, black girl magic for real, huh? Yeah, okay, and then they kind of move on, and then the judge comes in here, and the judge is Miss Yvette Wilson, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's her name. Give me a second and I'll tell you in a minute. She was on the Community, and tons of other things. We've seen Yvette on lots of things. Her name is Yvette Nicole Brown, and she's hilarious. She's a great actress, actually. And she comes in, she's a judge, and she comes in and she's like, well, good morning. After she realizes everybody in the courtroom is black, she's like, well, good morning. Right? God is good. You know what I'm saying? And so, and of course the black ladies responded with all the time, right? But no, and then the last person comes into the courtroom, which is Robin Thede, and she's the she's the prosecutor. She's the prosecutor, and then her client, Issa Rae. And first of all, Robin Thede comes in there and was like, "I'm sorry for being late. My client was stuck in a revolving door." First of all, bitch, please, okay? Second, when she looks up and realizes that it's all black people, she hits us with, "What in the baby hair?" Listen, I can't even take it. There's a whole song and everything. But no, the sketch itself is hilarious. They go on through the proceedings and such, and they just keep doing all kinds of black shit, and it's great. They get along so well, you know what I mean? Like, so much so that, like, Quinta's character, the defense attorney, showed an Exhibit A, which was a picture with no chairs, and then Robin Thede goes, "See, I got an updated Instagram post with chairs," you know what I'm saying, blah, blah, blah. And then she looked over, she was like, "You tried it, sis." And she was like, Quinta's like, yeah, I was a fool for that one. You know, so it was just like that dynamic that you would never, ever, ever, ever see in court, ever, ever, ever in real life, right? So it was super dope. It's my favorite. Once they realized that everything was popping and they were done, the song is the Black Lady Courtroom. Black Lady Courtroom. Hey, Black Lady Courtroom. Hey, it's a jam. It's a bop. Anyway, but no, I enjoyed the shit out of that one. I think I don't have a problem watching that one multiple times because it's just great. It's just great. Just the little things, little subtle things that's said in there is too funny too. Like, you know, you just have to watch it. I'm not gonna give you everything. I ain't gonna give you everything. Okay, but it's fantastic. Let's see what's next. Oh, last one, Basic Ball. The Basic Ball. So, Basic Ball is a nice little spin on, I want to say, Pose, because, you know, that's kind of what is the most common ball situation right now. It takes directly from Pose in Bob the Drag Queen, who is one of my favorite drag queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, and actually favorite drag queen period, because I don't really know too many other ones outside of RuPaul's Drag Race, right? That's just not my life. I mean, hey man, RuPaul put it out there for me to consume, and I've consumed it. But no, Bob the Drag Queen is a comedy queen anyway. He won his season, I think he was on season 7 or 8. I'm not 100% sure which one, but it was probably one of the best seasons of Drag Race. I think it's season 8. Or maybe 7. I don't know. Shit, who knows? Anyway, and Bob is playing the Billy Porter character, the person that runs the ball. I don't know the name. The MC. Let's go with the MC of the ball. And it's called the Basic Ball. And basically, it's nothing fantastic, you know. Basic Ball, they're giving out trophies for the ones that are going out and doing running errands, but they look a hot mess. Going out and you haven't left the house in days because you're depressed, you know, the depression thing. They also hit on awkwardness. The last one is dope. Big Girl does the awkward ones, you know, and the highlight for me with that is where Bob was like, "You're so awkward, you know, the waiter came and gave you your food and said, 'Enjoy your meal,' and you said, 'You too,' and he was like, bitch, he's not eating, he's at work," you know what I mean? So it's just one of them awkward situations. People are awkward a lot. They really are, so it's more common than not, but it had to be displayed on this sketch, and it's the best. And he also did one where it was for the guys, and it was talking about the dad realness and talking about the two guys that are going to argue about how they get downtown and all kinds of stuff. Listen, it's just so funny. It's so funny. So that's these are like the top 5 ones that I really love to watch. And then the honorable mentions, I'm going to go with, I already talked about The Fog. I wrote The Fog underneath honorable mention. The next one is Get the Belt. Bruh, Get the Belt. First of all, it traumatizes my life, okay? Because growing up, if you grew up with parents who seemed like they wanted to mentally break you, if you grew up that way, this one would probably hit you. This would probably trigger you a little bit. My daddy was kind of like this in regards to like, oh, he'll call you in the room for you to pick up the remote and hand it to him. Now my dad was disabled. It is disabled. So I mean, I always had to look at it like, but you can still get this though. But I would still do it. Obviously, I'm a kid and I do what you do what you're told. But yeah, it's featuring Marseille Martin from Blackish, the little girl. Who's not a little girl anymore. I don't know if you guys are paying attention. This young lady's growing up right before our eyes, but whatevs. But no, it's featuring her. Quinta and Robin Thede are actually the commentators. They're recording this. It's filmed as if this is a like a game, like an Olympic game. And so they're doing the commentating behind all the action, and it is just so funny. And one of the first things she has to do is come get the remote for her mom, and it's literally within, like, she could sit up and get the actual remote. Like, there's no problem here, So just little stuff like that. There's a part in the film where the parent falls asleep and then the little girl gets the remote control, which is also very risky, because who got time for all them extra words? What you doing? He changing my channel, all of these things. And so when she went to change the channel, I learned this myself because my daddy was a good parent. He was a good watcher while my mom was gone, okay, watching me, but, he wouldn't, listen, I'm sure my dad enjoyed his J, okay, and then was chilling and didn't have time for the bullshit, as in, dealing with that kid, half the time. So, I got away with a lot of things I probably shouldn't have gotten away with, and watching TV when I wasn't supposed to was one of them. I mean, that's just that on that. I used to, on the show itself, she's changing the channel, and they were saying this is a prime reason why parents wake up, changing the channel or something else. Oh, opening the refrigerator. That'll wake a sleeping parent up in a heartbeat. And so what Marseille did was she turned the volume down and then changed the channel, and they were like, wow, I've never seen anything like this before. This is revolutionary. And I'm thinking, what are y'all talking about? Because I definitely did that. You got to turn it down so that they can at least hear that the TV's on, but they can't hear exactly what's on, so that when you change the channel, they still know the TV's on, but you see what I'm saying? But nothing's changed. See? So yeah. No, I definitely did that. I'm not trying to make it sound great or anything, but that's just not new. Okay? But no, it's a really good one. If you had an abusive childhood, you'll probably get triggered on this one, but it's still funny. It ends with one of the grown people gonna catch an ass whooping too because she came in the house with the shoes on. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, again, it just brings you right back to the fact that you're a grown ass woman, but you're still very concerned. Am I too old to get an ass whooping right now? Okay, because I'm sorry, I brought the outside into your house anyway. But yeah. The next one is the Bad Bitches Support Group. So the Bad Bitches Support Group is the first sketch where, like, it's on the first episode and it's like the last sketch, and it's the first one where we had like a big time huge celebrity cameo, if I'm not mistaken. And that was in Miss Angela Bassett. She's fantastic in it. Laverne Cox is also in the episode, and then on that sketch, and then so is Amara La Negra. Okay, Amara La Negra is from Love and Hip Hop, Miami, if I'm not mistaken. And she is, I like Amara. I think she's, number one, she's beautiful. Number two, she's clearly talented because she can act. She's been in a few things where she's acted, and she's a singer, and an overall performer. She's beautiful, dark, Afro-Latino woman who's out here just trying to make it, so shout out to Amara. Laverne Cox is trans, she's trans, right? Trans woman from Orange is the New Black. She's got a twin brother. If I'm not mistaken, in Orange is the New Black, the twin brother was her before she transitioned to a woman, right? So, shout out to Laverne Cox, for being in it. And like I said, Angela Bassett for sure. Angela Bassett is the baddest bitch that there is. I mean, that's just that. And it seems blasphemous / disrespectful to even say that about Miss Angela Bassett because she's so damn fly. It has been for so long, like all of my life almost. But, you know, it just is what it is. And there's a nice twist. There's a nice little twist to the episode, or the sketch, so I'm not even going to really talk about it. But, you'll enjoy that. Gabrielle Dennis's character has come to the support group, the bad bitch support group, to let them know that sometimes, you know, I don't always want to be a bad bitch all the time, right? It's so funny. And I talked to, I think I was talking to my boss, and she said she tried to watch the episode, and she said it was too silly for her. And I told her, I said, no, push forward. I said, because we as black women are not a monolith, right? So we are hilarious, we are mad, we are, you know, goofy, all of these things. I said, and they're giving you the full ass spectrum of black women, like, you know. And this is, I don't think a lot of people realize this, you know. A lot of people think that black women are just mad, and they actually have a sketch like that. Like, black women aren't just always mad, you know. Because we really aren't most of the time. We really aren't. I mean, most of the time we just chilling, want to have a nice little joke. You know, we just want to be normal too. You see me? You know, without being judged. You know, that's really what it is. So it's good. It's really good. I want you guys to make sure you check this one out. It's on episode 1. You can't miss it. Angela Bassett was my favorite, and she's so classy and elegant. Like, even when she says things like so the line on the sketch, or like the line on the script, most likely was, you know, blah 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 blah, Angela Bassett, you say bitches, comma, da 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 da. But the way she did it, like, it was so endearing. It was so endearing. So imagine a bunch of chicks clamoring, and then to get their attention, bitches, okay, right? It was just one of them things, and I'm just like, this bitch. She'd call me a bitch any day, you know? But nah. So, I can't even stress to you how funny the situation is and how dope it felt to be able to watch this work and truly, you know, and truly see myself in it. So, that's what's up. I'm trying to think. Oh, and I also wrote down here all of the ones with Robin Thede as Chris. So there's 2 sketches where Robin Thede is a man. She plays a man. She's got the beard going. She's got the cornrows back. She's got the terrible slang going on, the way he talks and everything. The first sketch is him at a wedding marrying Quinta, and he just can't say I do. And and it really speaks to, you know, some of our black men's issues with communicating and being able to make a decision and stick with it, or being able to make a commitment and stick with it, right? He can't say I do. That's all you have to do to get married so you can go. And the only way he was able to say I do was when Miss Loretta Devine, who also cameoed in that motherfucker, Loretta Devine goes, did you want to hit that tonight? And he was like, I do. And then that's when they got married, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, man, come on. So that was one, and then another one was they were on the plane to go to the honeymoon. Yeah, they was on the plane to go to the honeymoon, and she was like Yvonne Orgy, okay, same chick from the Fog sketch, right? Same plane and everything, I believe. She comes over and she's like, they're sitting in the emergency. Y'all know when you're sitting on the plane in the emergency aisle, they come over and they say, you're sitting in the emergency aisle. If in the case of an event, you know, in the event of you know, an emergency, will you be willing to help people get out, you know? It's a simple yes or no question. Of course, Chris can't give a yes or a no. Okay? He can't do it. He cannot do it. And it was so funny. And then once they finally tried to get an answer out of him, they moved over to Quinta, and she just is ridiculous. Like, she's just as ridiculous as he is. She just can answer questions better. But listen, she's funny as fuck. And so they end up moving Chris to the back of the plane, and they put another dude in the seat next to Quinta, who is extremely attractive. He's big, tall, dark, sexy, muscular, all of these things. And Chris obviously can't take this. He's in the back of the plane hollering up and stuff, and it's just so funny. So both of these are also under honorable mention. And then there is, oh yes, the Basic Ball is definitely on right now on the TV on episode 2. I love it. So, but then also, as another main portion of the show, there's this underlying story of some event that has taken place that basically we find out at the end of episode 1 it's the end of the world, and that the 4 black ladies are literally the only people alive, so they believe, until we get to episode 6 when somebody rings their doorbell, and that's the way the season goes off, right? But anyway, not to get ahead of myself severely, but they basically are playing games and eating and just enjoying themselves, having conversations about what it means to really be a black woman and all of these types of things. They're doing all of these things or whatever, to pass the time. And one of my favorite conversations was about the hair, because Big Girl doesn't wrap her hair, and all of them went crazy. They were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You don't wrap your hair, and she's just like, man, come on. And Robin Thede was just like, what about your edges? What about your mush? What about your crown, bitch? Right? And it was so funny. It's like, damn. And it just, they even say it in the sketch. It's like, there's no right or wrong way to be black, da-da-da-da-da. But it does seem weird because, every black woman that I know wraps her hair up at night. Okay? That's just that. So, it's one of those things. So yeah, man. So yeah, it hits on so many different things within the community, within and across the diaspora. It hits on basic stuff like, being passed over for jobs, because you're not a white boy. They address that kind of stuff. It's just a cavalcade of comedy and realness. And I am eternally grateful for this show, and I can't wait to see what they do season 2. I'm trying to think if there's anything else as I'm looking at this. They're still on the basic ball, which again is extremely hilarious. You guys gotta check out Bob the Drag Queen. He's too funny. Bob is very funny. He's been acting in lots of things, even after even after Drag Race, and acting as his boy self. So not as a drag queen doing this stuff, which is okay if you do, because again, you're getting paid, so do what you do. But yeah, Bob's great. So trying to think of the list of cameos that we really saw on here. So many. I had to find a list right quick. My bad. Okay, so I pulled it up, and so you have tons and tons of guest stars. So we're gonna roll with. So in episode 1, you got Angela Bassett, which I told you about. Nicole Byer, that's the chick from Nailed It, right? Nailed It. She's so loud and ridiculous. Laverne Cox, like I said. Phil Lamar, I'm gonna be real with you, I have to look him up. I don't know who he is. Actually, I'm not even gonna click his name right now because it's not important. Yvonne Orji from Insecure, Kelly Rowland, and Gina Torres. I forgot about them in the CIA skit, which is a fantastic skit. It's called The Invisible Woman, if I'm not mistaken. And what's so great about that is that it's talking about the big girl, and I apologize for not having her name together every single time, but Big Girl is an invisible spy, is what it is. Her name is Trinity, and the reason why she's the invisible spy is because it's not even a joke, it's facts. Black women, specifically darker women, and if you are heavy, you are not even seen. It's like you're not there. You will be ignored in a room that's filled with non-black people. And even in some rooms with black people, you might just be ignored because of the way that we work. People work. People are interested in what's happening from the attractive people, or the people that they're drawn to, and a lot of people aren't drawn to dark-skinned big girls. That's just that, and a lot of people really are, and so it's kind of one of those things, and it's so crazy because Robin Thede enters the room, and she's just like, hey guys, and mind you, Trinity's in the room. Hey guys, here's the birthday card for Trinity, sign the card and get it back to me. And she's just like, I'm right here. And then even when she looks in her area, her vicinity, she still doesn't see her until she goes, oh, there you are. And it's like, yeah, that's how invisible I am, bitch. I know. So it's heavy shit. But Kelly Rowland, Gina Torres were they were both in that sketch in particular. Episode 2 also has Nicole Byers, like a two-parter from The Invisible Spy. Asia Naomi King is also in it. That's our girl Michaela from How to Get Away with Murder. Loretta Devine, of course. Caldwell Tideque. I don't know who Caldwell Tideque is, so I'll probably have to look that person up too. And Lena Waithe is also in this episode, which is she's funny. She doesn't have a huge part, but you know, it's still funny. Essence Atkins. Okay, so I'm getting to episode 3, which is the one that I told you that I fucking love. Essence Atkins is the name of the young lady who plays the sister in Smart Guy, who was in the Hertep wedding reception. Yeah, she was the one that was getting married. So Essence Atkins is in it as a cameo. Vanessa Bell Calloway, Jermaine Fowler, don't know who he is. Marla Gibbs, okay, that's Mary from 227. David Allen Greer from Jack K. Issa Rae, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Hal Williams, and Larry Wilmore. I know Larry. Larry Wilmore is a comedian and writer. Also, he's a black man. He's very light skinned, and if you guys remember, he was on The Office on the episode. This is like first season, second season of The Office, where they had to give sensitivity training because Michael told a Chris Rock joke at work. Jesus, or actually, it wasn't sensitivity. It was like diversity training or something like that. And it's probably one of my favorite episodes because Larry Wilmore is so funny. Episode 4 has Patti LaBelle, Phil Lamar again, Tia Mowry, Issa Rae, Natasha Rothwell, and Tyler James Williams as, cameos. Episode, what is this? Episode 6. Yeah, episode 6 has Candy Alexander, Dion Cole, David Allen Greer again, Yvonne Orji again, Issa Rae, and Amber Riley. Amber Riley and her husband, those two characters, they disastrous, okay? I mean, 100% disastrous. I mean, just what is the actual deal with them? They're like swing, and they went to the church to look for a third. Listen, it's too much. It's too much. So yeah. The church ones are funny because Robin Thede is like an aspiring comedian, and this is the only way she can get an open mic. So she tries to take over the prayer services with her open mic shit. You know what I'm saying? And then she lost me when she hit the congregation. When you ever had a nigga put you in the friend zone? And, whoa, no ma'am. We're not gonna talk about this here at church. But nah. So yeah, it's the best. Wait, it looks like, oh, sorry guys, that was for season. That was for episode 5. Sorry, I didn't get to the actual last one. We have for episode 6, the guest stars are Yvette Nicole Brown, who was, like I told you guys, Lil Rel, Howry, he's in it. I forgot about his ass. Phil Lamar is in it again. Marseille Martin, told you guys, she was in it. Issa Rae, Amber Riley for her second cameo. Natasha Rothwell, R.J. Smith, and Brescia Webb. I don't know who Brescia Webb is. Let's see if I can get a picture. No, I can't. So there's that. So anyway, but yeah, guys, I think that if you enjoy comedy and you enjoy different, like, smart, clever, crazy shit, then you definitely need to check this out. This is a fantastic show. It's a fantastic show, and it's over. 6 episodes, and they were done. So hopefully, when it comes back, because they were renewed for season 2, hopefully they'll come back with 8 episodes. That'd be great. And then, hopefully it's a long-lasting show. I love the fact that in season 1, they had so many cameos, so many people that we respect in the community and the culture that came and supported this. So, shout out to them, and we just gonna keep it going, and that's pretty much all I have to say about that. If you guys had any other favorite sketches or anything like that, y'all can reach out to me on IG or Twitter. Mills the Virgo on Twitter, Mills Speaks on IG. Mills the Virgo on IG too, but I'm private, so just hit Mills Speaks. If you're on Facebook, you can peep me on J Mills Productions, or you can just type in Mills Speaks and it'll bring it up for you, and then you'll be able to follow along with whatever's going on, if I'm posting whatever's going on. You guys know the deal. I want you to rate and like and comment and do all of the things that are going to be helpful for me going ahead in life. Podcast is in lots of different arenas right now. We've got iHeartRadio. I've got Audio Junkie, Blueberry, Castbox, iTunes, TuneIn, which is an Amazon thing, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and Google Play. Mills Speaks podcast on Podbean, which is where I actually upload my stuff. And it's a huge source for lots of podcasts. Stitcher and Spreaker. My stuff's available. I don't know about Spreaker. I know Spreaker keeps sending me emails like, oh, you've reached your limit. And I'm just like, listen, I'm not paying y'all. So just go ahead and delete whatever, and that just is what it is. But I do need to find out how I can just shut Spreaker down so that I can just, live my life. But yeah, no, if you guys are listening to podcasts on other things and Mills Speaks is not there, just let me know. You guys also want to check out, I just recently uploaded 2 other episodes. The first one was a How to Get Away with Murder recap, which I'm going to be doing with my good friend Rachel. So that was, first episode was uploaded I want to say Friday maybe, and then I did a regular episode of the regular podcast of current events, and then now this one today that I'll be uploading. So I'm trying to keep as much content flowing your way as I can, even if it's not on a weekly basis like it usually had been. Sometimes you just get into a place in life where you just don't want to do much, but I enjoy this so much, so I know that I have to just keep pushing and just keep doing it. And especially when I get shit like this, things like being able to review certain things, that's really dope. I enjoyed, I was gonna add in Raising Dion to this one, but I'm not gonna add it in. I'm just gonna briefly talk about how dope it is. Raising Dion is a fantastic show on Netflix. It just premiered this weekend, if I'm not mistaken, October 4th or 5th. It was made available. It's about a little boy. He's 8 years old, little black boy, 8 years old. Mom and dad. Dad's Michael B. Jordan. Mom's Alicia Keys lookalike. Dad's dead, so we believe. And Dion has powers. He's got powers. And listen, I got a text from Rachel just, as I was recording this earlier, and she was reacting to some stuff she saw on there, and it's just like, yeah, this shit blows your mind. The special effects are great. I love the fact that we didn't have to wait 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 episodes in before we got to see him use his powers and such. I love that he's got powers and he doesn't quite know how to control them yet. He doesn't quite know what to do with them yet. It's fantastic. And it's just a good feel good show. He's such a kid, and I think I put on, I think I might have mentioned this on another episode or on a post, because I posted earlier on my Instagram what kids are not responsible for, so I'll just read this to you. Kids are not responsible for caring for siblings, being emotional support for adults, finding money to pay bills, creating rules, structures, and order because the adults can't or won't, taking care of their parents emotionally, managing fights between parents, protecting themselves from adults, and figuring things out on their own. Now, I don't know about that last one, because kids do need to kind of figure some shit out, but I get what they're saying. But I put that up, and then I also put as the caption, as I watched Raising Dion on Netflix, I found myself wanting him to grow up or be smarter, but he's only 8 years old, and I had to check myself and say, no, he's just a kid. He's acting accordingly. This is the correct way for him to be. He is not wrong in anything that he's doing. And I had to check myself. I was like, he's a fucking kid. Of course he's not going to be paying attention. Of course he doesn't understand people not liking him for the color of his skin. Of course he doesn't understand why people think he's a bad guy or a bad kid. Of course he doesn't understand these things because he's a child. He's a child and he really shouldn't have to. But that's not the world we live in, you know? And so I just love that he's a child and he's young and he's, you know, he's just doing his thing. And there are places where he has to kind of grow up and be smarter, and he does that when it's needed. But overall, as a 36-year-old, I'm constantly wanting him to be smarter, and it's just not feasible because he's 8. It's not feasible. So I love Raising Dion. You guys have to watch it and let me know what you think about it. I'll probably have a more elaborate review of it on next week's or this week's podcast, just to touch on it one more time. But no, it's a fantastic show as well. 9 episodes with Netflix, so not bad. And they're an hour long. The hour never seems long enough, though. So, y'all just enjoy that. Let me know what you think about that motherfucker. Alright? And with that, I'm out of here. Holla. With the bag say, if he ain't talking about no money, tell him bye, bye, bye. And if we see a mad hoe, tell her, ha, ha, ha. Hey, don't get mad, hoe.